Welcome to the Sports Radio Music Show on Sports Radio Birmingham. With me, the Gabby Cabby, supporting B1%. Tonight, I'm in the jewel of Birmingham's crown, in the heart of the Jewellery Quarter. I'm at the Jamhouse for another Ben Drummond presents a legendary acoustic evening with... Good evening, brother. How are you?
Very well, thank you, mate. Good to see you again.
Yes, and it was a wonderful... Let's talk firstly about the Roots Fest, because that's a fest that comes, I'm assuming, on the back of this annually.
No, it's a separate entity in its own right. It's held at the, as you know, Bracebridge Pool in Sutton Park, and it's a yearly acoustic festival which ramps itself up during the day to, so we have bigger bands on the evening. But second year we had about 2,000 people come through this year, and which is growth, which is great.
But when I say what I've just said, you have a lot of acoustic people that come and play at the Jamhouse.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You connect, you have a profile of fantastic performers, and many of them come and support you at the Roots. So it's a kind of, it's a win-win.
Yeah, definitely synergy there, between the artists and...
I love that word.
Yeah, synergy.
What does it mean?
It means mutually added sort of benefits by people working together.
Yeah.
I think that's how you describe it.
That's brilliant.
Sounds like a definition, doesn't it? So if it doesn't mean that, it should.
I agree.
Yeah, cool.
And we're on the rooftop here, Ben. We're looking out onto... arguably the greatest city in the world. It's our city, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's Birmingham.
I love this city, man. It's been really good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at this, you can see history right in front of you, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
And the future, hopefully.
As the Who would say, I can see for miles and miles.
Who?
Yeah. But we are here to talk about your acoustic evening. It happens every... the last Tuesday in every month, doesn't it? At the wonderful Jamhouse.
It does, and it's absolutely free to get in, and you get a good crowd here. So it's that's a pull. It's a great venue to play at. You've got to be good to play this club.
Yeah, you have.
That's the the whole ethos of it, and people come out to hear good music. So that's half my battle, really. Getting people out of their homes watching EastEnders or whatever, and into the clubs listening to real live talent.
It's difficult because on the TV these days, in the old days we used to have Top of the Pops. These days we don't have any music shows. People do argue with me and say the X Factor. I argue back and say no, it's not.
Well, I'd say 10 years ago, if when I was growing up with music, and it was like music was very influential on me in the 90s, 93 to 2003, so that 10-year gap. If you presented the world then with a pop artist that's been manufactured on a TV show, you'd be laughed out of the thing, because you had bands who were doing something very real. I don't know, I've come to a certain age, I'm 35 now, and I think, oh, is that me? I don't listen to Radio 1 anymore. I just think, no, it's not that. It's like the fact that the kids who are coming up, that is their common, everybody knows it denominator, where you've got to search harder nowadays. You've got to look for the YouTube, Spotify, the selection's immense, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's for different world. But as for standard, who can say, what it's done? I don't think it's beneficial.
No, I don't.
No.
I think it's awful.
Yeah, I think it's a lack of, when you go out and you see people who've really crafted their thing in front of the crowd, they've worked their songs up, they've got the feedback from genuine people, their songs get better, their voices work because they're working all the time. And that's the school that I come from, and hopefully a lot of the guys who come and play here, there's been quite a few success stories from this club and from this night, people getting picked up. So.
I mean, in old school, it's the hard knock way. It's the real way. It's about real, getting on a stage and, as you say, learning your craft, performing your songs, making them better.
Getting direct feedback.
Exactly.
Whites of the eyes. People are looking at you on a show, and if it's not very good, they haven't got any vested interest to make you feel better. They're not going to say, "Oh, that was good, well done," and pat you on the back. Or they're not going to give you any feedback. The worst thing you're going to get is nothing.
Yeah.
But when you got it, when you nail it, you've got a crowd that goes, "Shit, that was unbelievable."
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and that happens. That happens for people putting their heart and soul into it. So, yeah, 10 years ago, or maybe more, but that wouldn't have happened. You know, the X Factor thing wouldn't have happened. It would have been laughed off the stage. Oh, you've been manufactured. I mean, that's always been around, that manufactured pop thing.
Sure.
But now, that's your common denominator, isn't it? You haven't got Top of the Pops. You haven't got the grey whistle test, man. You ever see Bill Withers playing on that?
I know.
You know, the dude, as soon as he hits the first chord, he's like sweating buckets, and you know, that's real, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know. But nowadays, I think people will be scared because he's sweating. I can't have a glossy, sweaty man on stage. You know what I mean? Because it's, you know, it's just
too much pretense.
Too much pretense, man.
Unbelievable. What kind of talent are we going to have on this show tonight? Who have you got on for me?
Right, well, we've got our first act, David Fisher, and he's from the sort of Nick Drake field of songwriting, more folky-based thing. Next up after that is Danni G. She's a girl from over Kidderminster Way, and she's got that fun-loving Criminals, hip-hop, real soulful vocal, and a beautiful looking girl as well. So she's got like a package.
Is that the girl I've just met?
Yeah, that's why you'll be having a chat with her later. Yeah. Then we've got Spence Cater, who's got these quirky, real. I think of his songs like your era of McCartney songs that are about, you know, stories, characters. He does a lot of that sort of thing. Interesting, funny, and witty. Yeah. After that, you've got Ian Darby, who's like a reinvented John Martin piano player as well. He's got that John Martin sort of esque vibe, but with his own slant. You know, this is just to put him into a bag.
Yeah.
After that, we have our first band of the evening called Tess of the Circle, who I think you
love
saw.
Tess. Yeah,
Tess, you know,
Tess Jones.
Tess Jones, yeah. And he's got, you know, he's getting a lot of Radio 2 play at the moment, and they're great. They mix the flamenco and the blues. Got a lot of different elements, and they're very interesting.
Can't he play that guitar?
Oh, he's a wizard, isn't he? Yeah, Lee. Yeah, he's amazing. Then we've got another really talented guy who's using the loop stations called Ed Geater.
Okay.
And he's loop station, but not so much in the Ed Sheeran vein, more in the sort of Bernhoft sort of way. So that's cool. And our last band are a band called Mind, Body and Soul, who's a female-led band, 4-piece. A girl called Racheal Perry, and it's just, you know, sensational.
I followed her on Twitter the other day, so I do look at what you've got going on, and I have a look, and you know. Yeah,
I'm not a big tweeter on that. But,
no, I noticed that.
Yeah, I just put stuff up and kind of guess it. But Facebook's my
I know it is.
Really.
The last tweet you done, your dog's still on the stage.
That's right. Yeah, warming us up.
Why's he a big dog, isn't he? Blimey,
56 kilos, that boy.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. You wouldn't argue with him, would you?
He's a big softie.
Yeah.
He's a lovely family dog, you know. He looks apart, but, you know, if he was aggressive, I wouldn't have him. You know, it's just a, you know, great friend.
I wouldn't know whether to, like, saddle him and ride him or...
I think my daughter tries to do that. She tries to climb on the back, and when he eventually has enough, you know, he scoots off with her on his back, so...
And the Jamhouse, we've got to give her... You know, the telephone number. I'm going to be ever so clever here.
Okay.
0121 for Birmingham.
Yeah.
200 30 30.
Good with numbers, isn't it?
Brilliant was that.
There you go.
And
you haven't wrote that on me, have you?
No. I looked at it and I do remember those things. It's quite an easy one to remember.
Right, okay.
200 30 30.
There you go.
The Jamhouse have got some brilliant other acts coming up recently. Yeah. I'd like you to tell me briefly about some of those.
Well, what we've had in the last year, and I'll show you some video footage in a bit. We've had Jamie Cullum playing to about 250 people, rocking the place. Now, in my opinion, Jamie Cullum, for what it's worth, my opinion, there isn't anyone who can touch him. And I know I've got jazz friends, you know, players and that, snobby jazzers, pretentious jazzers, as I call them, and they're lovely. You know, they know all about the modes and stuff. And Jamie Cullum is amazing.
Yeah.
And I've seen him rock it out with a piano, double bass player and an a drum kit, and rock the place. But then at the end, as his encore, just got in the middle of the Jamhouse dance floor and sang with his double bass player and drummer acoustically, vocals, double bass and a snare. And he rocked the place. One of the best shows I've ever been to in my life. And I've been to a lot of shows. Then we've had Benny King.
Yeah.
Benny King, I had the pleasure of meeting. Benny King's a true legend, isn't he?
Yeah, I would say so, yes.
Top loader the other day. Anyway, more about Benny King. But yeah,
Was he dancing in the moonlight as well, by the way, Benny King?
Yeah. I think he could have done, couldn't he?
Oh, he can dance anywhere, couldn't he?
Do, a 2-hour version of that song. But and Jimmy James, Martha Stewart, what's her name?
Reeves and the Vandellas.
That's it.
They're coming up shortly in September.
They're coming up soon, yeah. Martha Stewart's an old American woman, isn't she?
I don't know, you're more of a muso than me. I mean, my kind of...
I think she was a politician.
She might have been. You people have broadened my horizon in music.
Okay.
I mean, I thought that the only musician on the planet was Paul Weller.
He's a pretty damn good one.
Oh, absolutely. And like everything branches from Weller.
Yeah.
But I've
he's a good starting point, isn't he?
Is.
Because he's got roots in everything as well.
Exactly.
You follow, the Northern Soul edge and yeah, man, just amazing. Eh? Great musicianship.
But I always say that to people. Music, it's like a labyrinth kind of thing, isn't it? You know, you just go through different doors and you find different musicians and you find different influences.
They can take you on completely different paths. That's what I would say. If you're going to listen to music.
Yeah.
There's two types, and there's good and there's interesting, I guess.
There's good, and there's always someone that likes it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I always say, and that's what the essence of the Sports Radio Music Project is, and the various shows that we do. It doesn't matter whether I like it or not. It's about music, and it's about music being heard.
Yeah, because it'll connect with somebody. We're all frequencies, aren't we? Our bodies resonate at a certain frequency. There's energy around us that we can't see. The city thrums with its own vibe, its own sound. You listen to that. There's always a hum. Whether it's, and that's frequency,
Seagulls at the minute, can you hear them?
There you go. And that'll take you somewhere, won't it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I'm a big believer in that. You can use music as a weapon. Use it as torture. Certain frequencies can make you shit yourself.
Yeah.
So it's the power of it is incredible. I read an interesting article the other day about musicians playing together and how their brain waves sync through watching each other's faces and connecting through the art of music. So resonant frequencies, I think there's things in that. Same as Tibetan monks use bowls to,
But how many great songs?
Off on a tangent here.
Well, we do, but that's what we do, and that's what the music show's all about. It's about tangents, it's about music, it's a music show, we talk about music. And, jamming, back to the name of this. And by the way, while we're talking about the Jamhouse, the jewel in Birmingham's Crown here in the Jewellery Quarter, I love the icon. It's like an angel thing with... it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a few of those floating around. Yeah. And if you take pictures of them at certain angles, they look kind of funny. Like they're floating off the wall. Great pieces. There's a lot of... if you look around the club, there's a lot of that, good versus evil sort of stuff. Tension, I guess.
So again, it's the music thing, isn't it? It's all about what you see, what you hear, what you believe, and to everybody else, it's something different.
Adapts its vibes from people that come in. You look at all the people who come in, even players-wise. You get black, white, Chinese.
Yep.
Everything goes, man. In this day and age, this is the future, isn't it?
Yeah.
It can't be done with like separating that or, it's all good. It all goes into the melting pot,
So I was just going to... You took the words right out of me. It's a Meatloaf song, isn't it? But you did. It's a melting pot. Yeah. It's like Paul Weller when he wrote the song From the Floorboards Up. The energy that you get while you're performing live and the feedback that you get. Yeah. And you can feel it bouncing from the walls. And it's brilliant. And there's nothing like it.
I've talked to guys who've had amazing shows. Yeah. And it is an amazing gig. When it's on fire and it's rammed and you get off stage and it's up, there's like a spiritual thing about it. It's like it's an elation, it's a drug. It kicks you up a step.
But again, going back to the jamming sessions, how many great songs have been born out of jamming sessions?
Oh yeah, there's people connecting.
Exactly, you syncing and that. I mean, Calic and Andy Bennett up there at the Brown Lion.
And they're connecting all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, the pen is mighty in the sword.
Ain't that the truth, man?
What a great song as well.
Yeah.
And he wrote that while he was at a gig
Oh, okay.
Well, I think he was supporting Simon Fowler in Ocean Colours.
Oh, okay. Well,
and he just wrote it and then performed it.
there you go.
And a cocky fucker, he plays it with a pen as well.
There you go. There you go.
But again, that is musicians. You don't need a pick. You don't need...
There's no set rules on.
No, you play it out of it. You get tunes, as you was just saying there with the Tibetan monks. You musicians can get a tune from paint pots, from jam jars, from spoons, from absolutely anything. You'll just go...
Yeah. Oh man, we've seen it happen.
You do, don't you?
Sitting in the dressing room here with the band, and somebody starts going... And then somebody else will go, and all of a sudden the other dude's going, and then you got the harmony, and everybody's just jamming on something, and someone will come along like the drummer and ruin it.
They always get the stick, don't they, the drummers?
They get the stick.
They do,
Nice.
don't they? There's always someone a scapegoat, and it's a drummer, isn't it?
Or the bass player, you know.
Yeah.
This is awful, you know. Bass players are the solid foundation and heart of most bands.
But they are, aren't they?
They are, man. Yeah.
How difficult is it to play the guitar bass rather than guitar lead?
I'll equate that to what's harder to play, the snare or the bass drum.
Okay. But
Although it's rhetorical, isn't it?
But again, I look at you guys, and I know that you at the Roots, you played with Jess.
Yeah, I do like with
you
with
played
Jessica
you
Rose,
played
yeah.
with Calic.
Yeah.
And
Did my own bit as well.
that's what I'm saying. But you actually play with him, and I think with Calic that was the first time you had played with Calic.
No,
wasn't
I
it?
played with. It was the second time I played with Jess, and I played with Calic 3 or 4 times in the past year.
But you just pick up them bass chords, and you just play it.
But they're good songs, aren't they? And they kind of like tell you where to go, you know.
Yeah.
Just got to watch them, you know. I mean, I get lost very easily, you know. Not lost in what I'm not doing, just lost in music. And there's certain things that you can hear that indicate where you're going.
Yeah.
You know, where Jessie's stuff is there's a lot to it, so you need to.
Merrick.
She's incredible, man. She's stunningly beautiful. Great voice, great bunch of guys to play with, and really lucky in that sense.
She must be one of the greatest recording artists, or should be,
I think she's,
on this planet.
I think if it doesn't happen for her, I don't know what's wrong with the industry.
I don't know that.
Because she's like, talk about a whole package. She got amazing musicianship, lyrics that mean something.
Yeah.
A band that are right behind her. She knows how to orchestrate. She's passionate, funny. Yeah. You know.
As you say, the full package.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that you put on your nights, the last Tuesday in every month, our full package.
Definitely.
It is the real deal. So for anybody in Birmingham, come out, Jamhouse. It's free. The beer's affordable. The food is wonderful.
Yeah.
So
you'll be getting your commission.
Come and join us.
Yeah, come and see us.
How can people hook up with you and do that as artists?
You contact us through the Jamhouse. The Jamhouse will direct it all to me.
Got ya.
Yeah.
So it is the 0121 for Birmingham, 200
and they'll give you
30.
email addresses to contact me, and it all goes through the club.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Ben, have a great night.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure hooking up with you.
Cheers,
and
mate.
can I just say as well, thanks for being so hospitable to me, because I walk in
Thanks
here.
for coming over.
Yeah, and like, from the first time I walked into the Jamhouse, I feel as though I'm at home. And I didn't know anybody from Adam, Eve, or anybody else that was about that night.
Casa.
That's the Spanish again, isn't it,
There you
mate? Cheers, mate.
My house, your house, man.
Thank you.
Cool.
Cheers, Ben.
Nice
Top
one.
man. Cheers, lovely.
Good, man.
Sports Radio Music Project. Joining me now, David. Your surname, sir?
Fisher.
Exactly.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. How was playing at Birmingham's Jamhouse for you there tonight?
Oh, it was fantastic. I always love playing at the Jamhouse. It's such a great venue, really good sound, always a nice crowd in. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Tell me a little about yourself. I mean, you're standing in front of me. You've got... I love the harmonica. I do, because that again, we've spoken about you with Ben. Folky artist.
Yeah.
That denotes that you are with the harmonica. That is a beautiful sound, by the way, the harmonica. The guitar as well.
Yeah.
You write your own stuff. You're a little bit in the envelope of Nick Drake.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Is that a fair analysis that Ben gave of you to me?
A very flattering analysis. I'll call that fair.
You'll
yeah.
take that all
Yeah, I'll
day
take
long,
that.
won't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I know of you. I didn't hear your set because I was interviewing
Yep.
Ben, sadly. I heard your first number, which was a
Yep.
cover, but you write your own stuff as well. So you tell me for the next 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour, we can stay here all night looking at them pigeons and
Nice view.
and the Birmingham scene. Tell me all about you.
Well, I moved to Birmingham about 6 years ago. When I moved here, I didn't play the guitar. That was only sort of picked up when I was about 18, something like that. I've been working as a busker now for the last 3 years. Started off because I couldn't find a job, so I thought I'll do a bit of busking to see myself through. And then I quickly realised that I could make a living out of it, and I absolutely love it. So I go all around the West Midlands. Last summer I took a month off around Europe, just busking my way around. I really love the fact that I can do something like that for a living. It's a wonderful job. I've been currently working on an album. That's hopefully going to be ready sometime in 2015, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a single out at the moment, got another one coming out in another month's time or so. So yeah, it's all quite exciting.
So only the last 6 years you picked up a guitar?
Yeah, pretty much.
You've come a long way in 6 years then.
Well, I mean, I think that busking is a great way of practicing. 'Cause I get 4 hours practicing a day, which not a lot of people get. So yeah, it's been a good way to get my skill level up, and I hope one day maybe I'll be sort of, if I can be anywhere near to Ben Drummond standard, then I'll be very happy.
I mean, all joking apart, he is very good, isn't he?
He is absolutely stunning. Yeah,
I know.
I remember the first time I saw him play was at a little cafe in King's Heath, and me and my friends were sitting there open mouthed watching him play that guitar. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Now your single. Tell me about your single. Tell me about your influences with your album that you're making, and if you want to break into song at any stage, you feel free.
I probably will do that at some point. Yeah. Well, I'd say I'm influenced by folky bands. So Lindisfarne, I'm a big fan of Billy Bragg, Bob Dylan, Simon and Garfunkel. They're my main influences. Where it gets quite interesting is my producer. He tends to work with a much more modern sort of sound, and he teaches me how to be cool, even though he's about 57 or something like that. So he's the one who's teaching me how to be modern. And
Hey,
cool
I'm almost 50.
Hey,
leave the 50s.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, he's teaching me how to be cool. He's a lot cooler than I am. So he's sort of mixing his influences with my influences, and I think it creates a really interesting sound. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think I might. This is a single that's coming out in about a month's time or so, and it's called Two Sides of the Coin. So I hope you enjoy it.
Let's have it.
Looking over at the other side and reminisce about the days that are long gone. I cannot turn my eyes away because I'm celebrating. I don't know how it can end. One day it's white and then it's black and the table's on me. Could it be that it's clouding my thoughts? When it gets blurry I just have to look away, but it only does the opposite now, and it's two sides of the coin. Does it really have to land or can I keep it spinning? Two sides of the coin. What if it could never fall? Whisper on the grapevine has shaken me up and's made me doubt that I ever want to know. It could change everything, but there's uncertainty now. It's always greener. I'm not sure what I'm waiting for. A secret signal or a sign in front of me. I know I'm on my own now, it's up to me, and I was made up a long time ago, and it's two sides of the coin. Does it really have to land or can I keep it spinning? Two sides of the coin. What if it could never fall? rush to bed to leave it all behind. Say goodbye to the rush and the glory. Watch the train pull out of the station. Don't know where it might be heading for. And catch the next one out of town and run for the fields. Don't bother with your fancy rags. I'm going nowhere very quickly, but my mind is known. Rushing straight into the wilderness, and it's two sides of the coin. Does it really have to land, or can I keep it spinning? Two sides of the coin. What if it could never fall? What if it could never fall? What if it could never fall? Two sides of the coin. Does it really have to land, or can I keep it spinning? Two sides of the coin. What if it could never fall? What if it could never fall?
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That was superb.
Thank you
I
very
love
much.
I love what you do with your hands there.
Yeah.
You almost like tap the strings, don't you?
Yeah, it's a little bit like that, yeah.
You know, whereas like a lot of guitar players, they've got the pick, haven't they? And they're just strumming. You like, it's almost like flamenco type of dancing with your fingers, and it's superb.
Oh, thank you very much.
That's quality. That was really good.
Cheers. I'm glad
And you
enjoyed
say
it.
it's off your forthcoming album. What
Yeah.
other material have you got? And you did mention 2015. Are we looking at spring? Are we looking at summer or late autumn?
It's difficult to tell at the moment.
Yeah, sure.
Probably around about the summer sort of time.
Okay.
But it's I didn't quite realise when I started recording just how long the process
Oh, it
takes.
does, though.
But
Yeah,
it does.
I
You speak to any musician, they'll tell you the same,
Yeah.
I'm sure. But it's it's worth putting the time and effort into making it sound the best it can be.
So
Yeah.
for other people that don't understand, you think you just go into a studio, you're like, you've got like 10 songs, 11 songs,
Yeah.
just do it and that's it. It ain't as easy as
It's
that,
not.
is it?
No, for my demos, that's what I did. I went to the
Yeah.
studio and knocked out 10 songs in a day, which is why the quality isn't perhaps as it could have been. I do one take of singing and think, yeah, that probably sounds about right. And then I listen to it back later and think, oh no, I was completely out of tune on that bit. But no, it can take a long time. You've got to do a few takes of each thing. One of the things that I didn't quite realise would take so long was the harmonies. The way my producer likes to work is that he likes to, with every harmony that we do, he takes 4 good takes of each little part of the harmony and layers them on top of each other to create a really full sound. So that means if there are 3 or 4 harmonies, then you're looking at, you need about 16 good takes of the same tiny section of song. So that can take a long time to go through them and get all of them absolutely right. But I think it's worth it. The stuff that we're coming out with, I think it sounds really high quality.
Recording in the studio or playing live?
Oh, playing live every time.
It's easier in it as well.
Yeah. It's an odd feeling playing in the studio. Because when you're playing live, you got people you can look at, you can interact with the audience, and that's what I quite like doing. When you're in your studio, you're sitting there by yourself, you've got nothing to play off. One of the things I struggled with, and still do actually, is particularly with singing with a lot of passion and emotion when you're just standing there in an empty studio. You feel, I always feel very self-conscious to start out with. It takes me a while to get going and just and sing as I would live. I'm getting there, but it's quite an odd feeling.
And Twitter and Facebook and your website.
Yep.
What's the easiest way? How's the easiest way to get hold of the megastar that you're going to be?
My website is davidfishermusician.com. There's no C in Fisher, just Fisher. And that's got links to everything. My Twitter is David Fisher Folk. So, yeah, any of those, you can get in touch with me from there.
And on YouTube, have you got anything YouTubed up that people can look at your material as well?
I haven't got my own channel at the moment. I need to get that sorted out.
Sure.
There are a few links on my website to various YouTube clips filmed by other people, but what I need to do at some point is just collate them all, put them all together on my own YouTube channel. But there are plenty of links out there on there.
And SoundCloud as well. Let's have a shout to SoundCloud. Are you on there?
I'm not at the moment, no. That's another thing I need
Spotify?
Spotify I am,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I'm on Spotify. So my debut single, This Is Not Alien to Me, that's already available on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, all the rest of it. So I think if you go on my Spotify page, it also, if you click on David Fisher, it sends you to both me and a folk singer who sings in Hebrew. Then they put us both together, and we need to try to find out if there's a way of telling Spotify that we're not the same person. We've got a very different sound. So I'm the one with This Is Not Alien to Me.
It could be. Well, I mean, Jessica Rhodes. I think Jess is a beautiful artist in every way. You check out Jessica Rhodes on Google. You put into a search engine, porn stars come up.
So unfortunate, isn't it?
It is.
Well, I mean, my real name isn't actually David Fisher at all. My real name's David Gray. Obviously, there's a pretty famous one of them. So, but I just got sick of whenever I play a gig, they'd say, David Gray playing tonight, and then people would be so disappointed when they saw me. They were expecting, Babylon and all the rest of it, and some unknown guy with. So I had to change it. But
mind you, it'd be great for your attendances, wouldn't it?
Do you know what? It would be all right. I'd get a lot of people turning up to my gigs, I imagine, but just for the wrong reasons. And I might,
They'll be all up no street waves for David Gray. Two sides of the coin. Bloody hell's white ladders.
He's gone downhill a bit, hasn't he? I saw he was setting out.
He's grown as well. David, absolutely superb, first class. Thank you for your time, and can I wish you all the best. Any hard copies out there that people can buy?
Not at the moment, no, because it's just a single.
Sure,
I don't, it's easier just to do it by download at the moment. Once we get the album out, there will be hard copies. But best thing to do is go to the website and Twitter and all the rest of it, and you can find out from there.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Sports Radio Music Project. Joining me now on the show, Danni G.
Hello, how are you?
Superb.
Good.
You were superb.
Oh, thank you.
You blew people away. You even had a pocket of a fan club with the diners up there.
Oh, really?
Well, you did, didn't you?
Of
they
course,
were sitting there having the meal.
Oh, that was so lovely.
And I saw you laugh. I mean, you looked as though you really enjoyed it. You looked as though that stage was yours. You struggled to get off the stage because you bloody
my
shoes.
heels, yeah.
How did it feel?
Honestly, I can't describe how it feels. I think the passion overwhelms me a little bit. If that's my honest answer, there's no way to describe how it feels. But it's nice to make people feel a certain way when you're on stage. That's the most incredible feeling ever. Is to have people feel the emotion that you want them to feel through a song. Just absolutely incredible. It's a stage as well, with the layout as well in the pub. So it's great.
I felt, tell me if I'm wrong, a bit of a Joni Mitchell kind of feel.
No, I've never heard that before, actually.
Have you not?
No.
You know, the kind of the laughing in the music and that kind of, and I thought, blimey, some of the songs. There was a Prince cover at the end.
There was a Prince cover at the end.
I
always usually say, do we have any Prince fans in the house tonight? But no, I like to keep that a little bit secret because some people don't always recognise it when I play that song.
You worked it different though, and that's why people don't. And that's what's lovely when you do covers, that you make them your songs because you do them in your way. And I mean, I'm not the biggest Prince fan. No, he ain't the biggest, is he? Neither. And I'm going, okay, it is.
I think everybody recognises that song. I mean, I've known that since I was really young as well, so I think a lot of people recognise it. Did you clock my other cover that I did? I did 2 covers.
Which one?
Did you not hear the other one?
Which was that? I was interviewing a little bit, so I didn't hear the full set. I did, however, hear you start a song in French and finished in French. And also, you can speak bloody Turkish and Russian, your mother tells me.
Yeah, she likes to tell people that because people always want to make me talk to them in different languages. I think it's powerful when you put a different language into a song. The response I sometimes get, I mean, did you hear at the end, up on the balcony where people were eating, someone clapped early, and I love it because it's like a trick. Like I go really quiet and then go into the French again, because people always forget after you've heard the song that it's French at the beginning. So I think, I remember someone who's listened to my songs 1,000 times and he still goes, I always keep forgetting that you put something else. It's like very circular at the end of the beginning. Yeah, I love putting languages into songs because it confuses the hell out of people.
Where did you get the love of language and the ability to speak different Russians? Bloody hard to speak.
I can't speak a
would
lot
think.
of Russian, I will be completely honest with that.
Yeah.
But that's actually just something I started learning. I learnt Turkish and a bit of French when I was younger because I used to go to Turkey a lot.
Okay.
But I love culture, you see, so that's why I think I took it in a bit more when I was younger, just because I enjoyed the surroundings, I guess. But no, you got to do something that people aren't usually going to expect to hear from you. I think you got to surprise people. So that's why I like doing some things a little bit different, like laughing in a song. People are always really tense sometimes, and you need to let loose, change it up a bit, and laugh. But when you've got a good audience, you can't help but laugh sometimes.
And one song that you didn't laugh on, one song that you wouldn't and you couldn't laugh on, and you did say that, 1945.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
It's a brand new song. It hasn't even been recorded yet. I want to release it next November. Charity single to go to Help for Heroes. I'm trying to get people used to hearing the song now, so that it's not kind of on the brain. I think if you talk to anybody about World War I, World War II, everybody knows somebody in their family or someone else's family, and it's always, I think it's really close-knit. It's a bit close to the knuckle sometimes maybe, but it just... a friend of mine recently went in the army, and that brought everything back. So I questioned it. I spoke to my parents, who then told me about my great granddad, and he was in the Falklands War, and it brought everything back. It's a very emotional song, but I think it's a good thing rather than a bad thing. I think it's kind of like Marmite, you'll love it or hate it.
We were having this conversation on the Biscuit Boys show today about Marmite. No. Why do people say Marmite, you love it or you hate it? Because I'm almost 50. Right. And I had my first taste of Marmite. No. Yeah, seriously, about 2 months ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And I
am actually appalled at that.
I know. And I thought, do you know?
Did you love it or hate it though?
No, I didn't. I liked it.
Good. High five.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it's one of them things that you kind of... Why do people say you either love it? It's a nice taste.
I like it. I think it's also very healthy as well.
Yeah.
And it's a lifesaver as well when you go on holiday. If you don't want to eat certain foods abroad, if you're a bit... funny eater, I'll say. It's a great tool to have. Put it on your toast, and you see all these other people from different countries going, "Oh, I forgot to bring mine." It's lovely. Anyway, why are we talking about mine?
Well, we was just digressing. Shortly we were going out, and that's what we do. We bring it in as well.
It's cooking again, though, isn't it? We're going into cooking.
Don't get me onto that, Dan.
No.
You musicians, you want to stick on your get your guitar, stick them somewhere, get a cookery, and the books out. There's so many.
Make soup.
Oh, mate, there's so many cookery and gardening shows on TV. There isn't music shows. People like you should be in the customers' houses. Not physically, but through the television, playing.
A different form of media should be a bit more brought out.
I think without a fear of doubt. Because you've got talent. You go out, you work hard, you try and get your songs out there to a wider audience. And radio stations don't help you. We've got lots of radio stations in this area, Birmingham, the Black Country, the West Midlands, all of which should dedicate an hour a week, at least
I completely agree,
play your music. Not just you.
Everybody does.
But everybody's, and different genres.
Yeah. But I guess it's hard to be played on radio sometimes. You've got to get that help, and if someone doesn't give you a helping hand, it's so difficult to get through to radio stations. I completely agree. But talking a bit more musically on radios,
let's go.
Let's do it.
Come on, baby.
I've just released my debut single.
Tell me more.
It's called Dreamer's Dream. 2 original tracks on there and a cover, which I think you missed me play earlier.
Yeah.
It's by the Fun Loving Criminals.
Okay.
Do you like the Fun Loving Criminals? I'm going to interview you now.
Well, you can. We can turn it around.
Let's swap.
Do I like the Fun Loving Criminals? If I'm honest.
Oh, you're always honest. You told me that you're always honest.
Not on my top of my list now. No. I'm sure that your version is beautiful.
Thank you very much.
But I was never a massive fan of the Fun Loving Criminals, if I'm honest.
Yeah, if you're honest. Well, if I'm honest, they are one of my top favourite bands. Okay. Gotta be. I love the passion. Passion's great.
How do people get hold of this? Have you got
a
copy?
Of
or
course.
Is it just iTunes?
It's on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, all of that shebang.
Can I get a hard copy of it?
Of course you can, yeah.
Okay.
Of course you can.
Okay.
Okay.
Why are you laughing at me like that for?
I'm not laughing at you. No, I'm not laughing
You're
at
looking
you.
very nervous now, Danni.
I'm not looking... No, I'm not.
I will get a hard copy and I will play that song for you.
Well, I can give you a hard copy downstairs.
Because that's what we do. We support unsigned artists. You guys work your backsides off. You write your tunes and you give it to radio.
That's what it's all about, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's hard work, but if you don't work hard, how can you
Yeah.
expect someone to give you a helping hand on radio or
Yeah.
TV? It doesn't work. You've got to work hard at it. That's all I can say. And if you don't have passion, don't do it at all. That's all I have to say about it, to be fair.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be the greatest singer. You don't have to be the greatest songwriter. You don't have to be the greatest talent. But you have to mean it. You
Yeah.
have to go out there. You have to live it and want it. And when you do that, you connect with people.
And you make them feel a certain way, which is one of them. That is the only reason I perform live, I think. It's not about getting my music heard or being out there and people going, oh, look at her, you know, oh, wow, okay, she looks good, let's buy a single or whatever. It's not about that. I want people to feel a certain way. So when 1945, for example, I've played that to people when it's on the shelf, I was deciding whether it was a good song or not, and I was playing it to people to get their views. And I've made people cry. I think as long as you can put that feeling across and to make someone feel any emotion through your own music, it's definitely empowering, but it's very I can't think of the word.
Bloody good, Danny, I'd say.
Bloody good. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to use that more.
That's a Birmingham and a black country,
It's bloody
call,
good.
innit? You know. Where are you from? Because you have got our accent. You are from round here.
I try and hide it sometimes,
No,
but
don't.
everyone always says, no,
Danny,
it's a good thing.
Don't ever hide where you're from. Don't ever hide your accent. That's what you are.
Well, I live in Stourbridge.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. So everyone knows the venues around there: Katie's, River Rooms, Moochers.
Yeah.
Moochers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, about 10 miles away. So I'm trying to come out to Birmingham as much as I can. Birmingham.
Yeah.
Put the accent on a bit more now. Yeah, just trying to come out as much as I can and meet new people.
Yes.
That's the most important thing, I guess. Yeah.
And that's it. Meeting new people, getting them songs heard by different people, getting around. What's the furthest that you'd go?
I've been to Reading. I'm looking at going into Sheffield at the moment.
Okay.
I've played in Turkey before. That's quite away. That's quite a way away. Yeah, I like turkeys. Yeah. No, I'm willing to go all over the country. That's what I want to be able to say that I'm doing, is going all around the country to play. I don't have a problem with that. I just like to get enough gigs to go around the country.
Yep. And Danni G. Is it Danny with a Y, then a G?
No.
Is it
No.
denying it?
I'm shaking my finger
I
at
know,
you.
you're denying it.
It's DANNI and a capital G.
Exactly, that's what I thought, Dan.
Danni G Official. You go on Twitter, Facebook, type it into Google, Danni G, and you'll find me eventually.
Yeah.
I'm all over the shop.
Yeah. And I'm looking at you, a beautiful young lady. I would say no older than
Oh, no,
22,
don't ask me my age.
23, something like that, kind of early 20s. But on your shoulders, very old head. And usually you don't get that from young kids. But
I think that's passed on through my parents.
there's a look about you as well. There's something about you.
Thank you, wow.
Level 42, great song. I used to, you'd never heard of that. Yeah. Fantastic.
Thank you, though. That was really kind. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you my age. I will tell you later on. I don't
But
know
I'm
if that's
not.
a compliment,
I'm
though.
not far away, am I?
No, you're not far away at all.
And
no.
you are very mature
Thank
in
you.
in your songs, in your singing, in the way you conduct yourselves.
Yeah, thank you.
Brilliant, superb.
Well, I love what I do, and I hope other people can see that. And if you can, check me out.
Do you do? Are you an actress as well? Do you do any stage?
No, I used to when I was
Yeah.
really
That's what-
little.
yeah.
But I never got into it because it was
Okay.
too much of a commitment when I was younger.
Yeah.
No, I would love to be there. Everyone always says I should be an actress because I'm very dramatic.
You do come across like that, very very thespian.
Yeah, everyone always
very-
says sometimes if you're not in the mood, I can be a bit. But I think that's good. You've got to have a bit. Again, it's passion. I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
just too passionate. But yeah, bit of a loud personality, and I'm very confident. I think you could probably say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Now don't
Brilliant.
go insulting me.
Brilliant. Danny, absolutely.
Well, thank you very much. It was so lovely
superb.
to meet you. It was lovely
Can
to
I
meet
wish you all the best?
Of course.
Guess one of you, we will play it and we'll help you
Definitely, yeah.
and we'll link up. Lash out again for your Twitter at
Danni G Official.
Okay, brilliant. Professional.
Oh, of course.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
You've got a lovely voice.
Really?
Yeah, you have, yeah.
Stop going on.
Of course it's still going on. No. Come on, let's get back down and watch the rest.
I want a drink.
Me too. Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Do you know where your heart is? Do you know where your heart is? Do you know where your heart is? Can't you feel it when the speakers blow? I can feel my heart racing, and it's waiting for you to show. I'm an English major, but I'll do that later. Are you a music lover or just a general hater? This is what I love to see on your face. I love being different and feeling out of place. I'm from a small town, but I've been around. I'm meeting loads of new people and making new sounds. What kind of music do I play? Bit of everything, I hope that's okay. Ooh. Do you know where your heart is? Can't you feel it when the speakers blow? I can feel my heart racing, and it's waiting for you to show. Whoa, 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 yeah. Whoa, whoa. I listen to everybody's piece of advice, but I say life's like playing with the dice. You never know what it'll throw you next. So it's time to learn until you pass the test. It's not about the melody or the sex appeal. It's about the music and the way it makes you feel. It's not about the emotion you see on my face. It's its memory and its trace. Ooh. Do you know where your heart is? Can't you feel it when the speakers blow? I can feel my heart racing, and it's waiting for you to show. Whoa, 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 yeah. Whoa. Sitting up on a morning from the night before. I think I played a good show, but I'm not too sure. I'm never gonna feel pain, cause I can sing through the shame. You're my only critics, you're my only fame. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Cause baby, I just wanna be without you. So can you hear me when the speakers blow? I'm gonna live my life without you. Can't you hear me when the speakers blow? Whoa, yeah.
Right, we thought we got rid of her, but we ain't. You're just telling me about stuff that you've done. But I mean, it was better the stuff that we didn't record than the stuff that we did record.
It's always the way, though, isn't
Oh,
it?
no. And you're going to be a radio presenter on a station around here, and you say, oh, you shouldn't talk. I will talk about anyone because I don't fear anybody.
And you tell the truth, don't you?
Exactly,
You're always
yeah.
honest.
Exactly. So I don't fear anybody. So let's have a big shout out to who it is and where people can hear you presenting your own radio show.
It's the Bridge FM. It's my local.
I know Bridge.
Yeah, it's my local community radio. And since I was, like I was just telling you, I've been playing 4 years now. Since I did my first ever interview on there, my debut single had radio airplay on there. Radio airplay, and they just turned around to me the one day and was like, "Look, why don't you just have a try. You know, we'll train you up. You know, do like a voice test and stuff. You obviously already do interviews with us, so why don't you be on the other end?
You don't need training.
Thank you very much.
My advice to you is go and be yourself.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I would say that too. You know, you have got the perfect personality. Honestly, you're born to do stuff like that, and you're a young girl. So go ahead and do it. The only thing that you'll find problems with all the knobs and all the buttons, you know.
No, but I mean, I do.
Yeah, you get knobs
I
everywhere.
did music technology at college, so
Okay.
hopefully it shouldn't be too difficult. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I'm going to try my best. But the opportunity's there anyway. It might not happen, but the opportunity's there.
And when you're going to be on? Do we know yet?
No, we don't know yet. I'm being trained hopefully at the beginning of August, in the
Okay.
first few weeks, and then look, they could turn around to me and go, "No, actually, I don't think she's that good. Let's
Well, I
get rid
do.
of her."
So if they don't, we'll have you.
Oh, that's sorted then. Fine by me.
No problem. You can come round with Gabby and we'll do
Yeah, the
something.
opportunity's there, but we're not sure it's going to exactly happen that way yet. But the training should be beginning of August, so look out for me.
Well, if the people at Bridge Radio are listening to me, the Gabby Cabby, here on Sports Radio, take this young lady before we do, because she has got a massive future ahead of her. And also to my friends at BBC introducing, get her on.
Oh, wow.
Because this kid is destined for greatness.
Oh, don't, because I'm getting really emotional
No, seriously,
now.
you heard that. That's a Gabby guarantee. Come on,
Thank
before you
you.
start crying.
Yeah, we're going to come back for a chapter 3 in a sec.
Yeah. Well, you keep telling me these things. Right then, I think we're finally going. Yes. Come on, let's have a beer. Sports Radio Music Project. Spence, I do joke about musicians saying you should learn cooking and have your own cookery programme, because that's all the BBC and ITV. Oh, bleeding hell! Who put that there? But seriously, we're not going into the kitchen. We're going to go on the balcony.
Wow.
And you're going to tell me all about yourself.
Cool.
And all about your music and about the Jamhouse and the little bits and pieces that you've done in the recording studio in Wolverhampton, etc. And what a fantastic... I don't like heights.
What a beautiful evening it is, Gabby.
It is, isn't it?
We're looking out over Birmingham. It's kind of not quite dusk yet, but it's it's a beautiful evening. There's a plane taking off. Just finished the gig, and it's a great night. The musicians that have been on already are great.
Yeah.
There's a good friend of mine who's playing right now, Ian Darby. We go back a long way, as long as Ben and I, in fact. So it's been a real kind of it's a bit of a reunion in a lot of ways with the old Wolves boys in Birmingham now, so that's still going.
The Yam Yams.
The Yam Yams, yeah, middle-aged men still rocking, you know. So no, it's good. It's a really warm place here, and Ben's a great host.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a good gig.
So take me back to those early days when you hooked up. Tell me all about yourself. Tell me what you've done and what you're doing now.
Okay, Gabby, I started off my love affair with music started very early on. I sort of started, playing drums at an early age. I was playing in cover bands when I was about 15 and 16. But although I loved that, I loved the sort of performing live and stuff. I was always kind of, picking up the guitar and having a twinkle on the guitar. So when we used to have, I don't smoke now, but we used to have cigarette breaks in the rehearsals. The guitarist would teach me a couple of chords, and I thought, oh, this is good. I can actually play, So I started, got my own guitar and started learning a few more chords. And so I was always playing in bands, but then I was starting to write my own stuff at home and experiment. I've never had any formal lessons, as a lot of sort of musicians do or don't. And then it kind of grew from there, really. I've been playing in various bands. Various amounts. We never had any major success, but we were successful in our own right in terms of we were playing our own stuff, and we were sort of pushing the envelope, as it were. And then I sort of started to go more, do my own thing, write songs, and people were responding to that, and they were saying it was good, so I carried on doing it. And then I started writing with producers. I'm skipping out a big section of the story here where Ben and I met around 2001. I'd just come back from living in Brighton. I was moved back to Wolverhampton, and me and a guy called Rob Dentith, who's now sadly passed away. He was he's a genius, really was a genius, but his dream was being on the radio, and he was already part of this thing called WCR, which is kind of still going, but it hasn't got the licence anymore. But for a long time it had an FM licence. It didn't at the time, but it was student radio, and he had a show on there called Naked Ambition, which was kind of doing what you're doing now, Gabby. He had the passion that you did, and that's why I kind of responded to you, because I couldn't see that. And his mission was to champion unsigned music.
Yeah.
And this is when unsigned music wasn't very good. Really, they didn't have all the access to the home recording stuff that they have now. It was kind of still, a lot of it was on cassette. Some of it was pretty poor in terms of
Because you
quality.
can't you?
In terms of
I know what
quality,
you're saying.
recording quality, the
Yes.
songs were there, but the
Yes.
actual production quality was lacking.
Yeah.
So we were going, that's why they're not getting anywhere. But we didn't care about that. We just thought, right, let's get them in, let's make a fuss of them, let's make them feel like they're, give them some encouragement, get them on the radio, and get them on the way. And this was before Facebook, it was before MySpace, it was before all that stuff. So it was just about the radio. And it was good times, and I got swept along with it. For some reason, he saw something in me. I hadn't any inkling towards the radio at all. I got the face for radio, but he sort of saw something in me. So we teamed up. He was the crazy producer. I was the presenter, if you like, and we had the biggest laugh basically for about 4 or 5 years. We did that show, and that's how we met Ben. Ben was a musician in a studio across the way from where we were in this kind of little campus. He was at the Zip Theatre for a while, along with Scott Matthews, Ivor Novello Award winner, and Matt Taylor, who plays drums now in the Joy Formidable. So Ben, Scott and Matt were a band called Positive Firefly, and they were the best band in Wolverhampton by a long way. So they were our kind of jewel in the crown, if you like, so we play them a lot. There's a guy called Dan Whitehouse, who's also a really good singer-songwriter right now. He was on the scene then, in a band called Whitehouse, funnily enough, and his dad ran the radio station. So we had a great laugh with that. And one day we did it live on a Sunday morning, and we were both still hanging.
Live is great though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome. And that's the way we did it. A 3-hour show on a Sunday morning, and we were still hanging.
Inebriated.
But so was everyone else, and it was just a great laugh. And the one day we did a really off-the-cuff show. It was the Glastonbury weekend, and we just pretended we were at Glastonbury. We obviously went, but we just went completely over the top and just had a great laugh with it. Fast forward a few months later, and the West Midlands is a massive area in terms of radio output. The West Midlands licence is a huge chunk, and the last FM licence was up for grabs. So all the big boys came in and thought, right, we've got to... What they do, Gabby, I don't know if you realise this, but they do something that's called the test transmission. And they'll grant the big stations a month's FM licence, and they'll say, there you go, do what you do like a demo, basically, of what you'd do if you got the FM licence, how you'd play it. So people like Virgin came in, people like TalkSport, Disney, the big Asian network, Kerrang, all the big players came in and had these test transmissions. Unbeknownst to me, his name will come back to you in a minute, but this guy who used to produce Chris Evans on Virgin Radio, he was the head of he's now head of Scottish TV or something like that. But anyway, he came along and he was scouting the area for local DJs, obviously to curry favour with the locals. So he came to WCR, he had to listen to a few shows, he played the Glastonbury show, and he actually... Later on, he explained to us that, and this is a very experienced guy, and he actually thought for the first 15 minutes of the broadcast we were actually at Glastonbury, and this is like with no budget or anything like that. So whether he was just blowing smoke at my arse, I don't know, but he was very convincing, and he loved us. He wanted us, me and Rob, to go on the station and do the same thing that we did on there, but on Virgin. So naturally, we thought about it for a few seconds and said, yeah, we'll do that. So that was the kind of the first year I was back in Wolverhampton. Really, it all happened so quickly, and that really kick-started the scene. I was producing and I was hosting regular live music nights similar to this around Wolverhampton, and that was getting really popular because there was a bit of a buzz happening.
Let's go and stand over here because it's getting a little bit windy over there, and that's better.
And, so this is a massive anecdote, Gabby. We're going off on it, but I know it might be interesting to you.
I love it, I do, because that's what we do in our show. We go off on tangents.
Great. Your arm, I bet your arm's there. You need a tripod.
Used to. Honestly, I used to, when I first started doing these, I used to really hurt my arm. I thought I was like having arthritis or something.
You built up the shoulder muscles.
I think I must have,
on the one side.
Yeah.
Where was I? Yes, so Wolverhampton... 2001 to 2004, say, was the place to be in terms of like live music. Just to finish off the Virgin story, we did a few shows on Virgin, pre-recorded, but unfortunately Virgin didn't get the licence. Kerrang got it, of course.
Yes.
So, but that didn't stop Rob. Rob was straight in there. He took Naked Ambition to Kerrang and said, "This is what we're doing. You've got to have this on your show." And because he was so awesome and so persistent, they said, "All right, Rob, yeah, you can come on and do the show." And he joined in with another producer, and they did the Kerrang Unsigned show, which started off, and he started that off. And the sort of sad end to that is that just as that was all kicking off, and he got the news editor's job at Telford FM, he had a brain aneurysm and died before he hit the ground. But that's the end of that story. But the music carried on, and after I finished the show, then I started sort of doing a bit more writing, and then I started writing with producers, like pop stuff, because at the time I was doing a lot of guitar-based stuff. But then I was working at Access to Music. I was a songwriting sort of mentor, if you like, to some of the students there, as well as do teaching. And there was one guy there called Urban Monk, and he'd done some stuff with Wiley and stuff like that. And he'd got some beats, basically, tracks without any top line, any lyrics or melody on. And we got talking, he said, "See what you can do with these." So it's the first time I'd ever done anything like that. Yeah. I'd do my own music from scratch, but I wrote to this beat. Turned out really well, and that was the first track I got sort of licensed and synced. So that track's actually being played all across Europe at the moment. He's done lots of he's done various sort of advertising campaigns. One of them, ironically, a safe sex campaign in Holland. They used it for their sort of safe sex. It's called Sexaholic, so it's not it's not a stretch of the imagination what that's about. But so that kind of had some early success with that. So I carried on writing, but I've got currently quite a few tracks being played in stores, so in things like 7-Eleven and Class Olsen and Subway all across Europe at the moment. So that's they're playing as we speak, and that kind of clocks up royalties, and I'll get that through that.
So you are a bit of a superstar then, really?
Well,
Spence?
I mean, I don't know about that, but I'm a professional songwriter at the least. So that's where I'm going with it. I'm doing more of the writing, but recently, I mean, I love writing in the studio and all that, and I love the whole studio experience and hearing it at the end and letting it go and all that. But I kind of missed the live stuff, and recently I started playing out live, and I do a lot of busking now. So I go out and I play a lot of covers and I play my own stuff.
Where do you busk?
All around Birmingham. I busk in Stratford and places like that. So I'm travelling further afield as well, and I'll be sort of probably going into Europe at some point just to sort of go around, because it's an adventure, Gabby. It's brilliant. So I love doing that, and I love the instant feedback, and I love... You kind of see the best and the worst of humanity. You're kind of a beacon for people who just come up to you and go, "You've made my day, brilliant," and they'll dance and they'll give you money and they'll praise you. And you'll get people who are completely psychotic and threaten to kill me. But I love it in a way. It's scary, but it's beautiful.
How many threats to kill have you had?
I've had 2 so far.
In a week?
Actually, yeah. They're in 2 days, actually. They don't know me from Adam. These are these are obviously sort of,
It's sad, isn't it, that people
it is,
are like that and they have problems and should be looked after.
But the one story that there was this is the power of music. This is saw this guy I was playing recently, and this guy, I think he must have had some like post-traumatic stress or something like that. I think he was a squaddie. He was talking about being a good soldier and all that kind of stuff. But he was quite a well-built guy, and he was like had the mad stare about his eyes, and he stood about as close as I am to you now, and looked me in the face. And I was singing this song, Love Song by The Cure, and the last bit of it is I Will Always Love You, and I was singing that. And he said, "When I've finished with you, you're not going to be able to love anyone."
Blimey.
And stared at me like that.
Oh dear.
And I was thinking, don't do anything, don't react, don't shit yourself, just sorry, swear.
Well,
just keep playing. So I did. I just kept playing. I kind of ignored him, and eventually he issued 3 more threats at me, and I carried on playing. And I thought, well, I'm going to play some calmer songs now. So I took it all down. I was doing some I did Hallelujah and things like that, and just kind of finger picking kind of soft songs. And he sat down about 3 foot away from me, and after about 10 minutes, he was actually. I heard some other people sat around. They were listening to me, and I could hear him saying to them, "He's great, isn't he? He's brilliant." And after a bit, he came up and said, "See you, mate," and kind of walked off.
Blimey.
So in the space of 15 minutes, he'd gone from seriously wanting to do me in to like going, "You're all right, you are," walking off.
Yeah.
And so that's the power of the music. I hadn't done anything. It was just the fact that he'd obviously connected to something and just gone, actually, what am I doing? He's kind of snapped out of it a bit. So so that's my kind of mission with busking at the moment. So I've been doing it for the past 3 months, and you wouldn't believe the kind of politics that goes on as well. I've been kind of invited into the there's a new law coming in October, which they're simplifying all the ASBOs and things like that. And what they're trying to do in Birmingham, Gabby, is to try and slap fines on buskers where it's not illegal to busk at the moment, but they're trying to make it illegal. So that's what's going on as well. And there's a lot of people who make their living busking, and you can make a good living out of it. And they're going to be their
so
livelihoods
they're
are
going to make you a criminal for singing your songs and entertaining people.
They haven't said that in as many words,
streets.
but what they're hinting at. We had a meeting with the police, the city management, if you like, and the business owners, and we all got together and we all had a chat about how can we avoid this. But it sounds, reading between the lines, Gabby, it sounds like the law's going to come in anyway, and once the police have that power, they're going to exercise that power without hesitation. So who knows how it's going to go. What I think is going to happen is they're going to use it to sort of get rid of sort of maybe the not so good buskers, or the aggressive buskers, or the buskers that are too loud, and they're going to use that law to sort of move people on who they don't want in the city. So I think basically if you kind of toe the line and you're not too offensive, then you'll be all right. If you're a bit kind of a little bit off edge and maybe you're not very good, they might sort of use that to move you on. Or they might just say, we don't want buskers at all, and move everyone out. Or they can't physically do it, they can just slap fines on you. But I was talking to another guy who's been doing it a long time, about 30 odd years, Pete, and he said, that's nothing new, that's been going on since the 70s and 80s, threats and all that bit. So anyway, I'm very new to it, but it's new to me, and the whole sort of busking community and the whole kind of infrastructure, I find it very interesting, and kind of interesting that you can actually make a living out of it, because I never thought you could.
No, I didn't.
But you can.
But good.
And obviously the better you get, the more money you get.
And great way, I was talking earlier in the show to another busker.
Yeah.
Great way of learning your trade by playing for 3, 4, 5 hours a day.
Yeah.
And perfecting your art of what you are, an artist.
That's right. And David Fisher, who you spoke to earlier, brilliant guy, young guy. He's been doing it a few years. He makes a living out of it. He's an inspiration to me actually, because he's just out there doing it. And anyone who's listening to this who's ever thought about, I would love to give it a go, but that's exactly what I thought. You need a license, you need to do this and all. Yeah, you're doing all that, but don't let that stop you. No one's they're not gonna throw you in the slammer. It's not illegal. Yeah. So just, if you've ever thought of doing it, just do it. Get your guitar or whatever you play, go out and do it, and just have a bit of common sense. If there's another busker playing, don't play right next to him. Sure. And don't play 3 songs over and over and over and over and over. Have a bit of a repertoire and move on. But as you get into it, you find out about it, and there's loads of stuff on the net about it, as you know.
Love it.
So that's my that's where I'm at really with it all. I'm doing some recording actually tomorrow. I'm in the studio doing some live recordings and some other tracks that I'm going to be submitting to the agency that I use with my music to get some more tracks out there and earning more money. So
fantastic.
Yeah, you can do it. You can earn money out of music, despite what people say.
And how can people link up, find you on the website? Yeah. At your Twitter, at your Facebook? Are there any hard copies that people can have and they can play your music? What's the best way of connecting with you?
The best way of connecting with me, Gabby, is to go on Spence Cater Music. So that's SPENCECATER music.com. And you can find it all on there. Basically, there's a link on the top to go to my Reverb Nation page, which is kind of my most active page. And on there you'll find a lot of pop stuff, and that's the stuff that I've been doing. And that's the stuff that's kind of earning the money at the moment. But what I'm doing tomorrow, we'll be recording the stuff that I'm doing now, like the live stuff and some covers that I do out on the street, and that I'll be doing, for more professional gigs, things like I'm doing a wedding soon, so things like that, corporate gigs, so anything like that, that's going to be another income stream. So that will be available within the next sort of month, via an album, or there'll be some free tracks able to sort of download on the site. But so sign up. There'll be lots more sort of coming on the site as well. So
fantastic.
Get on there if you're interested in music, and even if you're not interested in my stuff, there'll be other stuff as well. If you're a musician, there'll be stuff on there how to sort of monetize what you're doing, and how to sort of get your songs out there, how to sort of make it into a career.
And you're on Twitter as well, Spence?
I'm on Twitter, and it's Spence Cater.
Spence
Cater, yeah.
Okay. Spence, can I thank you very much for your time?
It's a pleasure.
I'm loving that hat as well, mate. It's fantastic.
You've got to have a look at me. I'm trying to get a bit of a look. And
it's looking good.
I wore this hat for practical reasons, for busking, because it was so hot.
Yeah.
And I had to have a hat. So I kept it on. I don't usually do hats because I've got a big head. But this hat fits. So I thought, well, I'll just carry it and just keep wearing it when I go on stage. Just have a bit of a... Because they say you should never look like a part of the audience.
Yeah.
When you're a performer. You know? So you've got to have something that sets you apart. And I thought, well, a hat kind of does it. Not many people wear hats nowadays.
No, it's great.
Not indoors, anyway.
Well, I've got such a peanut head that any kind of hat just swamps my head, and I look like an idiot.
We've got the opposite problem, Danny.
I know, yeah. Cheers, mate. Thanks for your time.
Much. Thank you.
And we'll look up through social media and get playing some of your tunes.
Great stuff. Appreciate
Cheers, Spence.
it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers, mate.
Sports Radio Music Project.
Well, it was nice and light when I started, and we were on the balcony overlooking Birmingham. You can't see bugger all. The dynamics of the show have changed because we're in the dressing room now.
Sun's gone down.
Joining me, the Gabby Cabby, on the show from the wonderful Jamhouse, the jewel in Birmingham's crown, in the heart of the jewellery quarter, is...
Ian Darby.
Lovely shirt.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah. It's a jazz shirt. For a jazz
Excellent.
club, yeah.
Are them strawberries?
Kind of, yeah. Some kind of fruit, some kind of red fruit. But, yeah, it's good to play. This is only my second gig in about 2 years, believe it or not.
Okay.
I played an acoustic gig a couple of weeks back with Ben at the Sutton Park at the Roots Festival.
Oh, was you there?
Last Sunday. I played in the afternoon, last Sunday. So and I thought I'd bring out the keyboard tonight and play some different sort of stuff, a bit more jazzy, a bit more befitting of a jazz club.
Well, exactly, yeah.
So I enjoyed it, it was good.
And what's it like playing here? Because it is a fantastic venue, isn't it?
It's loud, on stage, even for an acoustic night. I've just me and a keyboard. It's loud and it's full, and you almost need to get the sound man to turn it down because you're used to having things a bit quieter.
Yeah.
But it sounds lovely. The ambience is lovely. It's nice and dark. There's little sparkle of lights everywhere. So it all adds really to it. You just mind you, to be honest, once you're playing, you get your head down, you get into it, and you just.
So tell me about yourself. Again, you're a yam. There's a Wolverhampton connection. It's got the Wolverhampton Mafia coming to Birmingham tonight, isn't it?
We're taking over, mate. Taking over. We're bringing some music over. And, so, I know Ben from days of old, playing acoustic nights in Wolverhampton 10 years ago, maybe longer. Scott Matthews, Spence Cater, Ben Drummond, we all used to play the same nights all together around Wolves and around local venues. I then went off and played in different bands, and then I guess it crystallised into a band called Reverie of Strings, which is me and a string quartet. And I played a lot around Brum in the mid-2000s.
Okay.
Had some sports slots like Ocean Colour Scene and...
right, you play with the boys?
Yeah, and Miles Hunt, and just acoustic nights, Played sort of local gigs, Worcester, Shropshire, Brum and Stratford and all around here. But then I had a bit of a break and I had a kid, and then another kid. And then
you gave birth? Yeah,
it felt like it. So I'm getting back into it now. I've got some new stuff. It's a lot more jazzy, a lot more funky, which is where my heart is, where I began out as a keyboard organ player. Mm-hmm. So I'm moving away a little bit from the acoustic stuff, but I still write a lot of acoustic-based stuff.
What do you prefer? The acoustic or the old?
It's like kids. You can't prefer it. They're different. Sure. Characteristics are completely different. Yeah. Sometimes you feel like a bit of funk and about moving around a little bit. Sometimes you feel like finger picking and being wistful and listening to the wind and the and the rain and that. It's just whatever mood takes you.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be able to do a variety of things really, and like I say, I'm just loving getting back into it.
And you're a very jovial chappy, Mr. Darby, aren't you?
Yeah, red cheeks.
You are, but everybody here has been so nice, they're so bubbly, they're absolutely loving it. And that's one thing that I know with musicians, they play with a smile on their face.
Yeah, I think we love it. When you're at our stage, we're not doing it for money.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're definitely doing it for the love of it, and there's a lot of yourself in the music that you put out there, and I'm not sure everybody always realises that. The hours you put in of practices, when you're younger or when you're a kid, or in my case, and it's all part of this big jigsaw puzzle that's come into playing a few tunes tonight. Yeah. And it's just a chance. It's difficult to describe, but it's a chance for you to just pour yourself out a little bit and be natural. So I guess your little characteristics come out when you're playing as well, and in your music.
Well, I suppose it's your vehicle, isn't it? It's like people get into a car You get into your vehicle, you
Yeah.
go on stage,
Yeah.
and you give yourself to that audience.
Yeah.
And the best way of giving yourself to the audience is writing things yourself, and it's all you.
Yeah, it's vibes. It's playing off them, then playing off you, and vice versa. You know, you can sense when people are liking what you're doing and not.
Yeah.
And if they're not, you try and switch it around a little bit, and you try and have a bit of play with them. And you know, if it's a bit up, then you try and bring it down at times, and vice versa. So it's all of that, but a lot of it's intuitive. Really, I think when you play a few gigs, you get used to that.
Yeah.
You know, tweaking things. It's like a mixing desk.
Yeah.
A bit up there, a bit down there, and
Up there for thinking and down there for dancing.
That's it.
Social media networking sites,
Yeah.
websites,
Yeah.
material that you've got out.
Yeah,
How do people connect with you?
I've got my own website.
Okay.
www.iandarby.com. It's IANDARBY.com. I'm on Twitter as Darbolina.
Hey?
Darbolina.
Darby, that sounds like a porn name.
I don't know if you remember it. There was an old hip hoppy tune from like the 90s. Mr.
Okay.
Darbolina, Mr. Darbolina, and I nicked it from that. So.
All right.
And then I'm on Facebook, all
So
the
you're
usual bits and
plagiarist
bobs.
as well, then?
Yeah, of course. You have to be doing it.
Everybody is, though, aren't they, to a certain degree?
Yeah.
You know, you'll listen to a song and you'll go, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And then you're listening to other songs and material, and you're writing your own stuff, and you think, oh, I'll bring that little bit in there, I'll bring that little bit. And you all musicians nick things from people.
Massively. Without realising it a lot of the time. I mean, I spent 2 years listening to a lot of soul and hip-hop and beat-based stuff, which I hadn't been before. It was more acoustic-based stuff, and that's reflected in my latest album, Sweet Soul Man, bit of a plug, which was out the 1st of May.
Don't give it a bit of a plug. Give it a bloody big plug. Come on, tell me all about it.
It's almost like going into the world of my alter ego, which is this guy called the Sweet Soul Man. And he sings somewhere in between, I don't know, Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson. So quite high, quite falsetto. Nowhere near as good, obviously, but you know, I'm trying to allude to that. And keys-wise, Jimmy Smith and all my old heroes, keyboard heroes of old. So plenty of organs, plenty of Fender Rhodes, and beats and hip-hoppy style stuff. So that's what I try and went for. I've got my little studio in my garage at home, so I record it all there. Yeah. So in between my life, my work, and my play, my family, and everything, I just squeeze it in and record a few tunes.
But it is, all joking apart, it's very difficult. It's very time consuming to construct a song. Is difficult. People just think, you just go in there, you're playing, you're recording, that's it. It's not that simple.
It is, and there's times when it is a pain and it's difficult, and your song nags at you. And then there's other times when you honestly, you literally play it and you know, I've got a song there. Yeah. It must be somebody else's. I must have nicked it. And they're usually, in my opinion, the better songs, because they're a bit more natural. They just come out. So this latest album was recorded everything in a month. In my own studio, so that's with working full time and everything else. So you could see how much I poured into it, and it just all came out at once. So,
and it's so warm in here. I can see things pouring out of you.
Yeah, well, it's a good way to lose a few pounds, isn't
it? So how can I get hold of your album? Can people get hold of it? Is it out hard copies? Yeah. Tell me more.
It's on all the usual stuff. iTunes, Bandcamp, I'm on. I like Bandcamp because more of the money goes to the artist.
Okay,
iTunes and Spotify, I'm on all the usual stuff. Just search for Ian Darby. The album's called Sweet Soul Man. Picture of a lollipop on the front.
Why?
Why a lollipop?
Yeah.
Just the sweet, I like the picture.
Fair play.
And the looking at, the sweet thing. I've got kids that love sweets.
Yeah.
There was just a bit of a play on the Motown stuff. And some of the classic Motown albums they kind of have that sweetness, that lightness to it, and so I was just trying to draw a bit of that out.
You got tambourines on there as well?
A little bit, yeah, a bit of all sorts.
Can't have Motown with tambourines, can you?
You can't have tambourines. So I mean, it was all recorded on the computers at home, you know, with sampled drums and everything else, and doing it all myself, which is great. But I want to try and get it together live as that band as well.
Okay.
I'd love to play that, maybe with some female singers as well, and just try and make it sound a bit bigger. But that's for another day. just keep it simple at the moment. Keep it just me and the keys. Practice it.
Because that's it, and it is difficult. It's getting a band together, it's getting people all in the same.
It's the resources, the time,
exactly.
getting in practice rooms.
So,
you know, the likes of Ben Drummond. You know, you work with people like this, then they're session guys, so you can get down, you can talk a bit, and then you can get on and play stuff.
Mm-hmm. And what's next for you? When you're gigging now?
I'm going to be gigging soon. I haven't got any actual dates yet, but in and around Birmingham, watch out for me. Either me and my string players together under the name of Reverie Strings, or maybe something else. So that's going to be soon in the next month or two. Check out my website iandarby.com for the latest dates. Just more of the same, really. I'm going to be hopefully playing a bit of jazz and a bit more vibey stuff with Ben and a drummer soon. So just the three of us might do something in and around Brum. Like I say, I'm just getting momentum. I'm just getting back into it. Getting back on the musical horse, as it were.
Well, can I wish you all the best?
Cheers, mate.
I think you should have called it Mr. Smiley.
Thanks, mate.
Or the laughing man. But it's the sweet soul man, baby.
That's it.
For now, thank you very much.
Nice one.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Happiest guy tonight, you are.
Cheers, mate. I've just been playing. I love it.
I'll tell you what, if I'd have just said to you won the lottery, you couldn't be any more happier, could you?
I'm happy playing music.
Exactly.
Just
and that's what comes across with all you guys. It's just music means the world to you.
Yeah, it does.
And it
lived
is your world.
I think I think when you've lived it, I started playing the keys when I was 8, seven or 8 sort of thing. So it's just part of my life, and being able to share it with people in gigs is great. You know, even if there's 2 people there. But.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Whether there's 2 or 200 or 2,000 and 2 million, it's the same performance.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember one of the funniest gigs I had was in a little church hall in Leicestershire. Yeah. And it was me and the string players, and it was like something out of Deliverance or something. You just turned up in this little church hall, nobody else, in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. You're like, where are we going to? He's going driving, and then these little lanes, get in there, and there's about 20 people, and the most attentive crowd ever. But I think Reverie Strings, when we used to play these little acoustic gigs, we always seem to end up in strange, weird and wonderful places. Yeah. So,
mind you, talking about strange and weird, wonderful, have you seen the artwork?
It is a bit abstract, isn't it?
I think the artist seriously had a psychological problem.
Psychedelic psychological problem.
There's a bit of devil worship going on.
There is actually a few devils, a bit of nakedness, but, some abstract fish.
There's snakes as well. I'm getting out of it. Put the willies up, mate. Cheers, mate. Thanks for your time. It's brilliant. Top man.
Here comes that sweet soul man. Sweet, sweet, sweet soul man. Sweet, sweet, sweet soul man.
Joining me now, it's very atmospheric, this show tonight.
It is.
I'm inside, I'm outside, I've been on the balcony, I'm out on the street now. The Jamhouse with Tess the Circle.
Hello.
Tess, how are you?
We meet again.
We do.
It's not been long, actually. Couple of weeks. Boathouse, wasn't it?
It was Sutton Park. I had to go before your performance. And I apologise for that, but
That's all right, mate.
my car was parked outside of Sutton Park and I didn't know where it was. And if it was dark by the time you'd finished, I would still be there now.
Oh, in the woods.
Oh, I tell you,
the Yeti.
It's a big park,
Yeah.
isn't it?
You got nowhere to be a Yeti.
It's a frightening park as well.
Anyway, moving on.
We do.
Yeah.
Fantastic set
Thank
again
you.
tonight. You know, you have the audience in your hand.
Enjoyed it.
You know,
Enjoyed it.
superb, mate.
Good.
And you are a regular to the Jamhouse and with all that Ben Drummond does.
Yes, we get on with the drum meister. He's a nice lad. He puts on a lot of good music. So we did his Boathouse Festival, Roots Festival, I think it was.
Yes.
And I think this is our second Jamhouse. So we're not quite yet regular, but I'm sure we'll do some more. But bear in mind, I've only been back in the Midlands for 9 months.
Yeah.
That's not bad, really. I think you can't do more than sort of 2 or 3 a year. Otherwise, I'm sure the set list, the gig would look a bit samey.
Yeah.
So he's got to keep moving it about. And so we'll probably do another one if he wants us in by the end of the year or something.
And that album of yours, I've given it a little bit of a play.
Oh, good, yeah, cool.
It's
Forms,
a lovely production, isn't it?
Well, that's Chris Potter.
Yeah.
He's lovely. He came to fame with the Richard Ashcroft, the Verve, I think it was. Yeah, the Urban Hymns record. That's the one with Bittersweet Symphony on and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So he came to fame with that, and always been a fan of his production because it's very polished. I mean, you wouldn't believe that album was recorded in 21 days, would you?
No, you wouldn't.
Well, it was, yeah. String sections, keyboards, drums, bass, acoustic guitars, lead guitars, backing vocals, 21 days, the whole lot. So, it's good. I mean, it's an interesting album. It goes from sort of flamenco, there's bits of flamenco, bits of grunge, acoustic grunge, and like MTV Unplugged stuff, bits of Led Zeppelin, bits of Jeff Buckley in there. It's all hidden in there.
Yeah.
All my influences from over the years. So yeah.
And that pretty much is what Test the Circle is all about. You've had a few radio I think you were saying to me there's only one track on that album that hasn't had airplay.
In total, yeah, but in total, I think there's one song that hasn't. Actually, that may not even be true anymore. I think they might have all been played on different radio stations.
Yeah.
But just on Radio 2, there's been 7 out of the 11 tracks have been played on Radio 2, which we were thrilled about because you expect that with Michael Jackson's Thriller or something. You don't expect that with some little indie band from the Midlands.
Yeah.
But we've had 7 of the songs out of 11, which. But what was interesting is all the DJs were picking different songs. So we were going, play this one, and then we give them the album. They go, I want to play that one, and then the other one would go, I want to play this one. So that's how we ended up with 7 of them being played. Is that they were all just playing the ones that they liked, different ones, and that was very, very like a humbling experience. Really, we didn't expect that.
Well, it's very nice that so many different DJs like different tracks on that album, and I say it's very well packaged as well. It's a beautiful work of art.
That was done by Andy Wallace, Birmingham designer. My mates who I've known for years.
Yeah.
I had a concept. The photo on the front, lovely photo. There's actually 2 photos. There's a picture of a misty park, which actually looks very CGI, but that's actually just the photo of the park. That's how it looked. That's how it looked. And then we took that photo, which my mate took, and then he took another photo of me walking along the beach and put me as this misty shadow in the background of this photo. So it's 2 real photos mixed together.
Oh, right.
But you got the Test of the Circle logo, and then Thorns at the bottom, and then me as this sort of misty shadow walking off. I mean, at the time, it wasn't quite a band scenario as it is now. You've got regulars coming in and playing now, and I dare say the third album will be. Although obviously there's no such thing as a solo album. Every album has got.
Yes.
Even a solo record, you've usually got 30 people involved in the production. That's the way it is. But I think we may make it. In fact, when you do a band album, you tend to have less people involved because you turn it into a 4-piece and just get it right, and do more overdubs on the guitars and less strings and less keyboards because you've got a unit to use there. But yeah, no, it's that's why it's just me on the cover. But now we have more of a lineup. I think there might be. Hopefully, the guys that play with us now will be on the next record if it keeps going well. if we can do the next record.
It used to be Tess, now it's Tess of the Circle.
Well, yeah,
with his circle.
Well, literally, added. I mean, people go, "What does it mean?" And that's all it is. It literally is me. That's Tess. That's my nickname. And the circle is the group of people that work around me. You know, for everyone from the engineers to the producers to the artists. And the whole point of Tess of the Circle is it's fluid, and that people can stay as long as they want, and we jam together. And if they're enjoying it, it carries on. If they get fed up, or sometimes they get a better offer because they've done the stuff with us, they go and do it, and then they might come back and they might. There's a whole idea of it is it just allows the music to be whatever it needs to be. And I mean, it can be me with a guitar on my own on stage, or it can be me with Lee Clifton and just doing a jam, the two of us, or it can be a three-piece with a cajon, or we can do it full band, and even do it full band with a string section. It just grows, and it gets bigger and smaller depending on what people want us to do.
And that's pretty much what music is about, isn't it? It's what you are and where you are at the time, and there's different influences.
Oh yeah, and it changes. I mean, when we did a gig in Gloucester at a convent the other week, and it was this very lovely old, which it is a convent, it's now a hotel, and they have this live concert hall venue in there, and because it was a very reverby, beautiful old place, the music just felt like it needed to be slower. When we were sound checking, it took us about 10-15 minutes to get a head around it. It's just like, it doesn't sound quite right in here, and we just slowed everything down, and I sort of mellowed out the rock voice and gave it more of, different. I can sing in different styles, so I gave it more of a sort of folky kind of feel, and so we did that, and there's actually a video of Better Days on YouTube of that, which is Tess of the Circle Better Days. I think it says live at the convent, and it's a bit slower, and it's just a bit mellower than we are sometimes, and I like that you can just take the same songs and play them totally differently,
rework them,
absolutely,
revisit them.
Absolutely. I'd love to revisit them. I always think about, in 10 years' time, I bet I want to re-record all my albums, because, we'll get better as players, and we'll get more accomplished as players and all that, and I'll probably want to go back and redo the whole catalogue, knowing me.
But that's something that a lot of musicians do, don't they?
They do, yeah.
You're absolutely right. There's things that you must look at with some of your first stuff and think, I can rework that.
Well, the most famous one, I think, for me, is Joni Mitchell, which she had that song in the 70s called Clouds, back in 72, 73. And then she re-released it called Both Sides Now, back in, I think, the late 80s or mid-90s or something. And, it's the same song, but she's changed the key, mellowed it out. She's now a sort of, 50, 60-year-old woman and not a 19-year-old girl. Yeah. It gives it a different vibe. And actually, they're both great songs. One's a sort of wistful, folky love song, like upbeat kind of thing. And the other one is sort of a sorrowful, woman looking back on her life, almost, and I like that, when I do mess with our songs occasionally and change the vibe on them. It's always good fun.
I always think of your musicians as your songs are your babies, and you're giving them to the world, and they're precious, and you want to nurture them and look after them, and as I say, sometimes
I think it is, and I mean that's why I find it more difficult for some people to make albums, because for me it really is. I feel I've been given these songs, and I tell you what, the secret is, to be honest with you, that nobody knows why one day you pick up a guitar and what you come out with is a load of claptrap, and then the next day you pick up a guitar and suddenly you've written something that is just makes the whole audience go quiet. And I don't know why that happens. You can learn your chords and your music theory, but you don't know why. But one day you pick up a guitar and write something that's awful, and it's just sounds like you're ripping off Nirvana or something else like that, and then the next day you write something that just sounds totally new and original, and because of that I think you have to be humble with the songs, and you have to go, okay, I need to treat this with respect. So when we do albums, I'm really, really perfectionist about it, because I really, and hopefully that comes across on Thorns, because I really, really try and go to the nth degree to make sure I'm giving. I have a motto in the studio, because I co-produce all the albums with whoever we're working with, and my thing is that we're in service to the songs, and there's no egos. I mean, if there's a guitar part and Lee can play it better than me, even though I wrote it, I'll let him play it because it's better for the song. I do some of my backing vocals, but I think a female would sound better on it. We get a female to do it. There's no ego with our records. It's not a bunch of 20-year-old kids in a room arguing over how loud their guitar solos are, and which I have been in those kind of bands when I was 20. Yeah. Now it's just we are in service of the songs. Comes down to that.
And your album, how do people get it? How do they hook up with you as well?
There's various ways. The album, if you just go on Amazon, It's probably the easiest, and type in Tess of the Circle. People always go, what? And I go, Tess of the Circle, and I go, think Tess of the D'Urbervilles, but Tess of the Circle. They go, oh, right, and then they probably forget. But if you just type in Tess of the Circle, the album Thorns comes up, and you can get it on the CD or the MP3. Now, although we actually make more money out of the MP3, I tell people to buy the CD because, A, Amazon now gives you the MP3s for free when you buy the album, so you haven't got to rip them yourself. But B, I just think it's a really beautifully packaged, as you said earlier, CD, yes. And it's been done with a lot of love, and I just think I'd like people to actually hold it in their hands and open it up and read read all who played on it. It's got Damon Minchella on it from Ocean Colour Scene. It's got Jeff Dugmore on it. It's got Tokyo, who played for Amy Winehouse on piano, on the Black record and all that. Mm-hmm. So it's got this fantastic cast list, and it was mixed by a lady called Mandy Parnell in New York, who mixed Jeff Buckley's records. And it's all this star quality of people that people can find out about by reading about them, and so I think I prefer people to buy the album, even though, to be honest with you, we make more money if they just go onto iTunes. So yeah, Test of the Circle on iTunes, on Amazon. Obviously testofthecircle.com is out there, and we're on the Facebook as well, which is probably the best place to go to find out about upcoming gigs, because we always post those. We put them on the gig pages as well on the website, but we always upload photos and talk about the gigs that we've been to, and we're fairly interactive with people. Love it when they post comments and stuff, and if they've enjoyed the gigs. So we're out there.
Most memorable gig that you've played recently?
I can tell you the funniest gig I played was and very memorable, brilliant gig actually. We headlined what was that thing the Birmingham Council did, the Arts Fest.
Okay, yeah,
we headlined that in, was it might have been 2013 or 2012. It's one of those two. Mm-hmm. And back then it was just me and Lee on guitar, and we headlined the acoustic stage. So you got about 4,000 people in front of us. And I did a brand new song called Face the Changes, not even on any of the records yet. And I wanted to just try it out, and I thought, well, I'll play it first. So do it as a solo record on my own first. I finished the song and do the big end strum. And in my first time in my whole career, and I'm now 42 nearly, I broke a string on an acoustic guitar. It's very easy to break one on an electric guitar, not on an acoustic. So I finished and bling, shoots off into the audience, a string, and you could just hear, on a massive 5K PA, me suddenly go, like in slow motion. So Lee rushes on, gets my guitar, and I pick up his guitar, and he goes off to change my string for me, and I pick up his guitar and do another solo number, and find out that he's got his guitar in an alternate tuning. So I start singing a song and hit the first two chords, and they completely sound wrong because he's set up for the first song we were going to do as a duet. So I'm then spending another 20 seconds that felt like 5 hours going ding 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 in front of 4,500 people, and eventually got it, finished the song. He came back on, gave him a guitar. I mean, he takes about 30 seconds to re-string a guitar. I take about 10 minutes. And we carried on with it. But that was very, very memorable. We also did a Simply Hall as well. That was memorable one year. That was, early in our career, back in 2011, I think it was, they let us do the Simply Hall in front of a full capacity audience. So that was awesome. Yeah. So those are probably my favourite 2 Midlands ones. Other than that, probably Glastonbury. That was good. We did 5 shows there. That was knackering. 5 days and 6 foot of, well, not 6 foot, but 2 foot of mud. It feels like 6 foot. But yeah, probably Glastonbury other than that. But, my 2 favourite Birmingham was definitely Simply Hall. But we love playing here as well. We definitely come back and do this.
And it's
good
great.
Sound.
He's got a great sound that echoes round all the walls. It's a great little venue. I'd say that it's the jewel in Birmingham's crown.
Yes. I mean, we'd love to come back and do a proper gig there, like a weekend. But, you look at the catalogue, they seem to be booked up till 2028.
Artists as well,
yeah. So I mean, we're probably on a very, very long list. Ben knows we want to play it, but we'll just have to wait our turn. But we don't mind.
It's a waiting game, man.
Tuesday night acoustic sessions at the Jamhouse are well worth coming to anyway. And so
superb.
All right, mate.
As always, absolute pleasure.
Pleasure, my man.
Cheers, brother. Thanks very much.
Look after yourself.
Cheers, pal. Thank you.
Ta-da.
Fate sets in, and I do not know about these things. In time, it's easy now walking away, some might say, is hard. And life so different now, wondering how, no pleasure in pain, 'cause time, it's different now, walking away, some might say too soon. The eyes of a clown, alone in the dark, the warmth of a strange girl is who I am. The eyes of a clown, afraid of the dark, the warmth of a strange girl is who I am tonight. Eyes of a clown, alone in the dark, warmth of a strange girl is who I am. The eyes of a clown, afraid of the dark, the warmth of a strange girl is who I am tonight.
Well, I've been all over this gaff this evening. It was light when we started, it's dark now. I've been on the street, I've been on the balcony, and back in the dressing room with the man.
That's me.
How's that? Was that alright?
That wasn't bad for a first try. I've heard much worse than that before.
Tell me your name, tell me what you do, tell me about yourself, where you're coming from, where you're going to.
Yep.
Because that was amazing. I was watching you and I'm thinking, how the hell is he getting this beatboxing while he's like singing and playing the guitar as well? That was like...
started off, my name's Ed Geater. That's Geater for the people who are not sure how to spell that. And I'm a beatboxing guitarist, singer-songwriter. I like to kind of try and blend all those ideas together using a loop station and sort of making, songs sound like more than one person, really. Yeah. Sometimes I'll be beatboxing and playing guitar at the same time, but sometimes I'll record stuff and sing over it and try and kind of create, different textures that way. It basically stems from just a love of music from a very early age. I was a classical musician as a kid. Started playing violin when I was 9, bit of piano, then moved on to guitar when I was 14, discovered beatboxing at that age as well. 26 now, so that's 12 years practice of the two, and I just sort of had the idea to combine them, really to sort of make it my own sort of original, innovative thing, because I just love innovation in music. That's the story, really.
Where did you come from? Where are you from?
I'm from Harborne in Birmingham. Went to uni in Leeds for a few years, came back here now, back in Birmingham. I just went away travelling in South America for 5 months. That was great. Bought a guitar while I was out there. Did some street performing, some hostel performing, performed in bars.
How does your performing in, like, say, South America with your beatboxing and stuff like that, how does that go down? Do they look at you?
Oh, yeah, they really, really loved it. I got a lot of good feedback while I was out there. Probably, I think, more interaction from people watching or listening to it, more so than here, I would say, from my experience.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it'd be difficult because when I first got out there, I didn't really know much Spanish, so I couldn't really talk to people about what I was doing, But I sort of learned a bit of Spanish while I was there, and started to be able to communicate with people who were listening about, what songs are about.
And how difficult is it? Like, I'm looking at you as a music fan. Mm-hmm. You're banging on the guitar, you're making all different sounds. That beatboxing that was on that loop, it kind of, it seemed to me as though you fed it in to something.
Yeah.
And you kept playing it, and it kept coming back up.
That's it, exactly right. So it's the loop station. Yeah. I can record, say, 2 bars of a beat, and then as long as I time it right, it'll keep feeding back, and then I'm free to do whatever I want to do over that, guitar stuff, more percussion stuff, singing, and that's how I make all my songs, pretty much. I just find it really exciting. I think it's
clever.
I think it's very fresh. People are doing it. It's becoming more and more. It's kind of its own subgenre, if you like. The loop station uses loopers, and I just think, I love it. It's a bit nerve-wracking sometimes because if you make a mistake, you make one mistake in a loop, it keeps feeding back. It keeps feeding back. So in the early days when I was playing this thing live, I did make mistakes, and I'd have to stop. Sometimes worst case scenario, I'd have to stop a song and think, "Oh, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to start that one again." And that's not an easy thing to do in front of lots of people watching. But touch wood. Now I tend to, because I've practiced it so much, it tends to go pretty well, and I don't make too many mistakes, not noticeable ones anyway. So
in terms of beatboxing, and I know absolutely nothing about beatboxing.
Yep.
Who's some of the big, really good beatboxers, and where'd you draw those influences from?
No, good question. Well, it's not a very mainstream thing. Beatboxing. It's still a bit of a baby, and I discovered it through a friend of mine showed me this guy called Racheal, this American beatboxer, and I heard it, and I couldn't believe that someone was doing that with their mouth, making a drum kit sound or sound effects and all this stuff. Yeah. So as a kid, I just want to do that. I want to mess around, carry on doing it. And over the years, I never really got bored of it. I carried on just practicing it, not for any reason as such, other than I found it fun. And then, more and more recently, I found more and more beatboxers from around the world. On YouTube, there's a channel called SwissBeatbox.com, which so many European and American beatboxers are on there now as well. And it's kind of its own thing, and people have these beatbox battles, so they'll have a battle against each other, like one person will do 2 minutes, the other person will do 2 minutes.
Like kind of rappers.
Similar to the rapping sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. And I always used to watch that, and I'd find it enjoyable, but it wasn't really my thing. I've always been, because of my classical background and my love for melody and my love for songs, and virtuosic sort of instrument playing, I really just wanted to do that, and I wanted to combine my beatboxing love with the kind of singer-songwriter aspect, because I don't really feel like there are many people doing that.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran is an obvious, name drop, and I do get the comparison. Obviously, being called Ed, I get the comparison sometimes, even though I think my music's very different to his. And he's not strictly a beatboxer, but I know he's got videos out there of him doing a bit of vocal percussion stuff, and he uses a loop station as well, and he'll loop it and sing over it. So what I'm doing is kind of, it's in a way in a similar vein to what he does, but I think I try to take the beatboxing to another level and make it more of a focal point of the whole act, really. Yeah.
How do people hook up with you? You're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, your website.
Exactly, www.edgeater.com. On Twitter as well, Facebook, of course, SoundCloud. You can stream my EP on SoundCloud, which I recorded independently at home and released through a company called Ditto Music, who are really, really great for independent musicians. And yeah, you can stream it on Spotify as well. You can buy it on iTunes, which obviously I'd much prefer people to buy it on iTunes.
Yes,
but
yeah.
if people want to listen to it, that's
Yeah.
as long as people hear my music, that's really the key. I just think it's amazing that anyone, anywhere in the world, with an internet connection, can just stream my EP. It's great, and it makes me feel really proud to know that.
It's opened horizons, hasn't it? The internet.
Indeed it has. And right now, I'm just kind of I haven't gigged other than obviously my South America trip.
Yep.
I haven't gigged much outside the Midlands area. I'm still kind of playing my trade. I'm writing more material, and I want to kind of take it around. I've got ideas of maybe doing a sort of a UK tour in the near future. But yeah, no, it's going well. Very happy.
Was that your photographer, or was that a photographer that just liked you?
That's actually my brother. Who's he's invested in a decent camera, and he's got a great eye for a good for a good shot. He's a photographer. He's a camera assistant as well. He does a lot of freelance work. So great to have a brother who's doing that kind of thing, because it works out nicely for me, and for him. So it's
and in closing, do you want to give me a bit of beatboxing?
Sure. Yeah. I'll give you a little freestyle.
I'm gobsmacked. I am, I swear. You're watching you, I've never been that close to a beat, I swear. Your face is like...
Thank you very much.
How do you do that? How do you make them sounds come out of that mouth like that?
It's taken me a long time to get to that level. It's no kind of like, I just tried it and it worked. I've really been very passionate. Watched a lot of people doing it and learned from other people as well, and just carried on practicing. Really, it really is down to just as with anything, you put the hours in, you put the hard work in, and you'll tend to get results. And for me, I don't know, I've always been natural with music. It's always come very naturally to me. My musical memory is much better than my actual memory, which is a bit annoying sometimes, but no, it just works, and it doesn't feel like hard work when I'm working at it. So it's that's why.
It's a great party piece in the pub as well, isn't it?
It is as well. It does.
Great chat at Lime with the Birds, eh?
I haven't used it for that really. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
just throw a bit in there. Hey, how's it going? Before you've even asked their name, just drop a beat, and that's.
But you're on it. I swear, I'm looking at that. It's like it just is so. I've never seen nothing like that before. Well, I think it helps having the beard as well.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it does. Don't know, the whole thing.
Are your eyes drawn to the
face and the whole? It's like blimey. It's like just looking at what's the noise coming out of there.
Very glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you very much.
Nice one.
Superb, mate.
Thank you very much.
Quality.
Okay.
Brilliant. Cheers, pal.
Feelings across the ground, bury them beneath the frown. Nothing you say will ever make me speak. Nothing you say, yeah, nothing you say. So you scatter feelings, still nothing makes sense. Bury them down so you'll never know what they meant. Nothing I say will ever make you speak.
Finally on the Sports Radio Music Show with me, the Gabby Cabby, at the Jamhouse. What a voice. What a young lady.
Oh, thank you.
Body, mind and soul.
Yeah.
There's three of them,
Yeah.
and there's you.
Yeah.
Body, mind and soul, and the voice.
Racheal Perry. That's me.
Are you part of the group?
Yeah,
or are
yeah.
they just, you know, so
Yeah.
it's Racheal Perry.
And my body and soul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So tell me a lot more about you. Love the way that you interact with the audience.
Thank you.
You're obviously a brummie.
Oh yeah.
Because you can that brummie, you know, and the personality that shone through as well.
It's got to be Birmingham.
I loved your performance.
Thank you so much.
Loving your dress as well.
Yeah, it's very retro. I'm into my vintage. Yeah. So that's why I've got three old boys stuck behind me as well. Okay. No, seriously, we're based in Redditch and Halesowen.
Okay.
But we're all sort of brummies really,
by
heart. And we've got Ricky Lee on cajon.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Darren Mudge on guitar and also Mike Alcock. And basically, we do our own stuff, but tonight we just thought we'd whack out a few covers.
Yep.
Just to sort of round the night off a little bit with something for people to sing to.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do our own stuff as well. I've got an EP launching probably end of autumn.
Okay.
Called Not Quite Me. So if you come to one of our gigs, you can pick one up for a few bob, you know. We're not going to rob you blind. I'm sure you'll like it.
I want to know more about your EP. I want to know more about you.
Okay.
Because there's a lot more, you know, you're like, what should I say? What am I going to do? Tell me all about yourself. Where were you born?
Where was I born?
Whereabouts?
Oh gosh, I was born in Chelmsley Wood.
Hold on, man. Right. What do you mean, oh gosh, I was born in Chelmsley Wood?
It's not got the best reputation, has it? But it's a beautiful place. And
what road in Chelmsley Wood are you from?
I lived in Kingshurst.
Come on, tell me.
Oh God.
Whereabouts?
Oh, do you know what? I can't remember.
So you was on the other side of the river by
It was a block of flats. Oh, Bassett's Grove.
Okay,
Bassett's Grove. How could I forget a name like that? Bassett's Grove. Then we moved to Franklin, and now I live in Redditch with my family. I'm married with two little kids who can't stand music and singing, so
right.
Never mind. And I'm a vocal coach. I coach lots of up and coming groups, lots of original artists. So I'm really passionate about music.
Yeah.
Don't do it for the money. I do it for the mind, the body, and the soul, man.
Well, I'm from Kingshurst as
Oh,
well.
you're good lad.
That's why I was fishing around here. Chelmsford, Kingshurst.
Yeah, Yorkswood First School. I was near there.
Oh, was you right? Okay.
Yeah.
What senior school did you go to?
Oh, I went to Waisley.
Oh, so you was over the other side by then.
We got into the posh area by then. Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about this EP. How many tracks are on there? 3, 5?
There's going to be 4
Okay.
on the EP. There's 2 that are purely written by myself. One that I've co-written with Mike, who's on guitar tonight, and there's another one that I've co-written with a guy called Rob Oliver, who's a Redditch guy, but been playing for years. And it's just really a collaboration of our soul, jazz, fusion, really. I love all the old style singers and...
For instance,
I love old Etta James, Sarah Vaughan, Aretha. I can't beat Aretha Franklin. So I like the powerhouses, but I also like the moody singers as well. So yeah, I mean, I weren't joking when I said I'm quite a miserable sod, really. But I do like the blues.
You actually said you was a miserable cow.
Oh, did I? I don't care. Yeah, a bit of a miserable cow. Yeah. But I love the blues.
Yeah.
I love to hear expression in music, and I've had a ball here tonight. Not a massive crowd, but a very appreciative crowd.
That's the thing, though. You did mention it's a school night, and it is a Tuesday night. You know. You did also mention the graveyard shift as well. And at that time it is difficult. Yeah. I did hear you saying that you're gigging in the Brown Lion
tomorrow
as well.
Tomorrow night we're in the Brown Lion. We're doing a support slot for Delano Mills and the Not So Strictly Jazz Quartet.
Okay.
They're phenomenal. Absolutely honoured to be supporting them. We're going to be on about 8:30, doing a half an hour spot where we'll be doing 2 of our original tracks from the EP. You can't give it all away in one gig.
Well, of course you can't.
So we're going to do that, and they're just amazing. They are amazing. Fantastic keyboard player, good friend Martin Trotman. Big up Martin. And they're brilliant. So midweek tonic, that's what we call it. The midweek tonic. They pick me up halfway through the week. We love it. It's a cracking little pub. It's much smaller than the Jamhouse.
Yeah.
So it's a bit more cosy.
I must admit, I got there a lot of Mondays. Andy Bennett and Calic are up there
on
too,
a Monday.
my mates. Yeah, superb. But there's a hive of activity with music in Birmingham.
Yeah.
You know, people say live music's dead. Live music is alive and kicking in this city. This is the capital of music.
And we're really lucky. The musicians in and around Birmingham are like... I know it sounds cheesy, but they're like a little musical family.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, we all support each other. Nobody's bigger than the music.
Yeah.
And we've all got our own little strengths and weaknesses. So we just get on with it. Like tonight, like an idiot, I came out without the cajon for Ricky Lee. So it was like, oh my God, Darren knocks a pint of Guinness over when he gets here. Yeah. It's just a disaster. But Tess of the Circle, they lent us a cajon.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, don't worry, Bab, but there you go, have a cajon. So the show went on, darlings.
Well, that's the nice thing about Brummies, isn't it? You know, we help each other out. You're right.
Even if they'd be building a cajon out the back, it'd have happened.
I'm loving the tattoos as well.
Do you like my tattoos?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I've got 3 in total. One there and one on my back, which you can't see this evening, but there you go.
But it's all about the music, isn't it?
Yeah. My first love. Sorry, Mr. Perry, but it is.
I'll tell you what you don't like, though. You don't like your shoes. You prefer better.
Oh, God, yeah, because I'm in a covers band as well called like Soul Mania, and it's a full-on dance band, you know. And typical sort of, you know, the wedding singer, so I put my little heels on and I dance around all night. So any opportunity to get shoes off, I'm there. Nice.
So what's the easiest way to hook up with you and to buy your music and support you?
Probably Facebook.
Okay.
Right now, that's going to be our biggest sort of medium for now because it's free. So we've got a Facebook page called Racheal Perry and Mind, Body and Soul.
Yep.
My coaching page is called Sessions, so it'll all be on there as well. And plus, just hook up with me.
And Twitter.
Oh yes, I do Twitter.
Go on, what is it?
I've got quite a modest Twitter at Vocal Queen 1.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. But the Vocal Queen is just a bit of a tribute to Aretha Franklin, really, because my maiden name's actually Franklin.
Oh, right.
So there you go.
And you say you teach music?
I don't teach music, I'm a vocal coach. I coach in the Redditch community.
Okay.
Every Saturday I run a workshop for technique and performance. So I'm Vidler trained, big up the Vidler.
And where's that at?
Vidler is basically a worldwide organisation, but its headquarters are in Worcester.
Oh, right.
Run by the fabulous Dr. Racheal Perry, who's a doctor in voice. the guru.
So I've got an awful voice. You ain't going to be able to train this voice to sing anything, kid.
Give me 5 minutes.
I tell you, you need half a minute. But if I want to come to Redditch to get some vocal training,
where do
I
you
do
go?
that?
You come to Death or Glory Records.
I've
heard
them.
Yeah.
They're new, aren't they?
They're new and they're buzzing around all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm working really closely with them because they're really into promoting up and coming talent, and that's kind of what I'm all about. I want to see people embrace music and get on, and just have the lovely little family thing that I've got going. So Death or Glory Records on a Saturday, 12:30 to 2:30. You can get technical and performance coaching, because you can't have one without the other, and they are two different disciplines. Come along to that, get involved. Great networking opportunity as well. Really, really good. We put in gigs on locally, paid and unpaid, so there's a chance if you're good enough you learn a few bob.
So what kind of bands are you promoting? What bands are you putting on there? Let's have a name check for one or two of them.
Oh God, absolutely anyone. We've got a band called Byron Hare. They're quite prevalent in Death or Glory Records. Young girl called Shannon Elizabeth. A little busker that goes around Redditch is our Emily. Anyone that's got a passion for music, I don't care if you're death metal or if you're Ed Sheeran, it doesn't matter. If you want to learn, get over nerves, get confident, meet other musicians, then it's for you. There's no holds barred.
You little Emily, surname?
Joe, I don't know her second name. But Emily, she's beautiful. She looks like Cheryl Cole, but as a goth. Because she's only little, so she's going through a dark phase now.
Well, we've all been through dark phases, haven't we?
She's stunning, brilliant singer. She stands in Redditch every weekend, busking outside the library.
Fantastic.
She's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And that, in all seriousness, that's where you learn your craft. It's where you learn your trade, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. She is. She's great. And there's nothing like it. And she comes along every week.
Yeah.
And she's really learning, and she's making friends every week.
So,
in a network.
Apart from the Brown Lion, which is tomorrow, which is probably about 3 weeks ago by the time we actually broadcast this, where else can we come and watch
the
you
West
play?
One Club in Hagley.
Okay.
That's quite posh in there, though.
Hagley is very posh.
Yeah, you can't put your jeans on in there.
Tell our chums we were there, isn't it?
I have to keep my shoes on in there. West One in Hagley. I play quite a bit in Leicester, Barwell Way.
Okay,
I play at Tops Wine Bar. It looks like a very pleasant country pub, but you go upstairs, it's like a rave. It's just brilliant. Where else? Gosh. Am I allowed to say Fleet Street Kitchen in the Jamhouse?
Yes, I am. I'm asking you a damn question.
Fleet Street Kitchen, and if I can sweet talk John Bunce, then we'll be playing at the Jamhouse.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they'll be having you back, so I thought you were superb.
Thank you.
And that voice, that is such a power. I thought you was going to smash some of them glasses, because your voice really, as soon as I thought, blimey, you can belt a note out.
Certainly can. I've had a good teacher.
Yeah.
Best. So yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm the gob of the band.
Well, it shows. You're from Kingshurst and Chelmsford, yeah.
It's got to be done.
Well, for a young lady that says, look, I don't know what to talk to you about.
I've gone on, ain't I?
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Absolutely, give me 5. Absolutely smashed it.
Dude.
Well done.
Thanks a lot.
And get following each other. Well, I've been on Facebook, and the show will be coming out shortly.
I love Facebook.
Best of luck for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks for your time. Thank you. Well, that's it from me now. I'm going home to bed. I'm absolutely cream crackered. Thanks for listening. Good night and God bless.
Smacking back along a lost and lonely track, 'cause I think I've been trapped inside the web of my own truths and lies tonight. You may be lost, you may be found, a fleeting foot on changing ground. So pick a spot and throw a stone, you won't need no direction home tonight. Something, build something, break something, move something, shake something, or you might create something right. So please drink from my broken cup and please read from my open book. I don't need much but the same thing back, so please say you can grant me that tonight. 11 and you had no choice but choose to win or lose and sit outside the game. Watch it spin again tonight.